Ready to count this off?
3,
2,
87.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to
Cydney being Cydney.
Podcast 2013,
Yeah.
episode
39.
39.
Ooh.
Was it really?
Yes,
Oh,
Dang.
good guess.
39.
Remember the first ever episode?
He wasn't there for it.
Oh yeah.
The first episode was just me and you, and I just let you talk on the
And you
mic,
were just asking me about Christmas. Man, that was fun.
and you gave your take on how it was unfair that he got to go to wrestling, and you didn't.
Yes. Cause he wasn't the only one that thought wrestling was cool. I still kind of think it's a little cool.
It's good to know.
Cause I just like people
I
fighting.
call myself like.
That's why I like football. Cause I like to watch people tackle each other.
Well, that's a good segue into something, but before we do, let's go over this week's sponsors. Fubu is tired of y'all making fun of them, so they're not sponsoring this week's episode, but we would like it if y'all came back.
I made fun
No,
of.
we wouldn't.
We made fun of? Brother. For real?
Also, Christian Mingle, but not Black People Meet, said give them about a week or two, but we still are sponsored by Fat Dummy Tea, whose slogan is "It's not poison," and they also want us to let you know that Fat Dummy Tea is for those that would like to work out and reward themselves at the end of the night with a cookie.
A cookie?
It's not poison. So, how are we, everyone?
Good.
Good.
That's it. How was y'all week?
Good. And the
It
best
was
thing is...
okay.
Why was it just okay?
I went to school.
Oh. Well, that's another conversation, because something that was starting off that Cydney was saying about football is we can give the update because of the homecoming game.
Which one?
We don't have to talk about that.
Sure we do.
Which one?
Why not?
Which
The only
homecoming?
one we went to.
Oh.
The only one
Oh,
we went to at the high school.
I thought you were talking about the one in Atlanta
Oh, well,
that you were going to...
that's something else. But no, this was from the high school one because the band played, and it was the first time I'd been to a high school game from my high school since I went there.
And
So
of course I had to wear a Brookside shirt because Brookside was the elementary school Brookside is the elementary school I go to that's right next to the high school.
no, that wasn't why you wore it. I just went with something that was, one, that was blue and gold, and two, because it was bright and yellow, I knew how much of a crowd would be there and how much easier it would be to spot the yellow kid with the ponytail.
The yellow kid with a ponytail.
You had a yellow shirt on. So, it was a good thing.
I also had a black shirt under it.
But I saw but nobody saw that. I saw a yellow shirt is the point that I'm making.
Yeah, but you know, me and my friends went. Like a couple of my friends were Girl Scouts, and one of them actually went to softball with me. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
And then the kid from Girl Scouts, and then my two buddies from school and Girl Scouts, and one of them goes to soccer with me, and we're on the same team.
So in other words, while the game was going on, Cydney was at one part of the stadium playing with her friends.
And one of them, she was like a contortionist or something, because she was acting like she didn't have a spine or something. Like, she was doing all these crazy bendy things, and I sent him like a million pictures of us doing it, and she told me to try, and I kept falling over. That didn't work. No, it didn't. Not at all. She was trying to teach me how to do an aerial, and I kind of flopped.
Wow.
Like, super flopped. I was like, whee! That didn't, no.
That sounds fun to watch.
Well, too bad. You were playing in the band. So.
Yes. So Courtney was playing in the band, and I told him after that I was able to tell everything that was going on in his mind just from looking at him.
Where was he?
He was in the middle of the field, but when the band came out, but the look on his face was someone who didn't want to be there.
He just didn't care?
Right. He didn't care. Someone who didn't want to be there, but like the whole thing is cool, and what I just really enjoy the most about this whole experience is goofing off.
I think that was the first homecoming I've been to, and like
that's the first homecoming
forever.
you've been to.
That's pretty accurate.
Explain.
Let me explain. It's
How
pretty
is that
self-explanatory.
Well, then you can tell. You can give your
Dad, you have
your
cat hair all over your shirt.
you can give your viewpoint of it.
I didn't want to be there. I don't like band.
Why don't you like band?
It's annoying.
Right.
It's boring.
It's like
I don't like playing the instrument. I don't like my teacher.
Dang.
No, it's just not a good experience.
So, well, what is it about it then? Like, why? What makes it boring?
Everything. Like what? Like I don't like.
I understand because
Band.
You said everything.
I understand because I was that kid in band, and boy, did I cause a lot of trouble in band, and had fun doing it. So I understand. However, the band was still a good experience because we did a whole bunch of things that just opened up a world, and even it just opened up different ways to see music and music theory that wound up being what's the word?
Curtis thought you were calling.
Useful is the word. There we go. We'll just go with useful. What was your question?
So, when what grade do you have to be in to start band?
Third,
I think fourth grade.
Fourth grade, actually.
Yeah, fourth
I'm
grade.
excited though, cause I don't know. I kind of want to play violin.
I don't want you playing the violin
Why not?
because
you're gonna end up playing the flute or the clarinet.
well,
Why?
or the saxophone.
No.
Well, because here's the
Because
reason.
then everyone's gonna have played the saxophone, and who wants that?
Well, because here's the reason why. So I will give you this from a musician standpoint. First of all, when it comes to the violin, I have what is called perfect pitch, which is like super, super rare, which means I hear music without and can replicate it without a reference. So
Just kidding.
when I hear anything that is remotely off pitch, not even like every word you say, everything that I hear, even the snaps of finger, everything is a note to me. So if it's something that I cannot associate with a specific sound or pitch, it will drive me insane. So hearing the screeching of a beginning violinist eating all over the house I will put you and the violin out.
Why?
So for the sake of everyone's sanity.
Now that sounds fun to watch.
Now, the reason for something like a saxophone, or not necessarily a clarinet, because outside of band, when are you ever going to play a clarinet? Or when, unless you decide to be who's a famous, I don't even know if it's called a clarinetist. What is a famous jazz clarinet player? Exactly.
Nobody. What's his name?
When's the last time you heard a song with the clarinet solo in it and you were like, yo, that dude was fire? Exactly. So I'm just not a believer in playing something that outside of what you're doing this for. If you say you want to play trumpet to some extent, well, once you're a little older, because that does stuff to your lips. But see, like, just I understand as a musician,
He wanted to play trumpet.
I would have hardened his lips. It'll wait till he's older. See, there are all these other little things that when you're a musician you know about. So that's why.
I don't want to play trumpet.
You used to wanted to.
Yeah, for like a couple weeks.
I wanted to play clarinet at first.
I still
So did
want
I.
to play
My father said
I wanted
no.
I wanted to play the viola.
the viola.
Really?
Yeah.
What's a vanilla?
Because it was like,
I mean, not vanilla.
so in fourth
viola.
grade, you're gonna have an assembly, and it's gonna be like the best kid who plays each instrument is gonna play like a 10-second song,
10 seconds.
and then whichever one sounds the best, like you're supposed to pick which one you want to play. So the viola sounded nice, so I wanted to do that, and then The
What's
drums.
a viola?
The drums,
longer
obviously, is what I want to do the most.
Wait, isn't a cello a giant violin?
That's more
Viola
like
is the smallest.
Oh, it is. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I think, isn't it?
Is it like the same size as a ukulele?
No.
No, the viola is small, I think. I'm pretty sure it's small.
How small?
Because who plays a viola? Once again, where are the fire violists that got music on Spotify?
Wow.
No offense if you are a violaist and your music is fire. But,
But if you're a violinist, then I need tips because I want to play violin.
I know some violinists. I know
Who?
professional ones.
Who?
People who are violinists.
Dad!
That's my answer. They busy.
Wait, hold up.
Well, when you have time, please give me some tips.
Stop touching the mic.
Okay.
Yes, hold on.
Isn't that, like, aren't you going to hear that?
No,
It's going to echo.
not really.
But if you're doing this and you hear the thing.
That's
True.
fine. No, because it's... No.
Oh, yeah, he could cut out anything.
No, it's fine.
It is?
Yes.
All right, you owe me $1 for thinking about it.
The other thing, well,
So why are we talking about music?
because we were talking about homecoming and band, it just kind of went that way.
Mm,
But
okay.
it was interesting being back because I hadn't been back for a while, and it was like, oh wow,
bet you
I'm
felt-
seeing y'all.
I bet you felt super old.
No,
Yeah.
no,
When was the last time you went to somebody's homecoming?
I just told you.
19 years.
Last time I went to a college homecoming was
17 years ago.
7 years ago.
No.
7?
Yeah, last time.
You
Last
told
time I
me
went
17.
for a college.
Oh, college. That wasn't college, though.
No, but so there's high school and then there's college homecomings.
Morehouse and all that stuff he went to. Of course he did. And he's going to another one soon, right?
My college one,
Yes.
but
And I can't come.
you got school.
I still want to come.
You got school.
But I still want to come.
All right. So we were having a conversation yesterday, and it started at one point, and Cydney was talking about Roald Dahl books.
Yes, I was.
What?
You don't know who Roald Dahl is?
Roald Dahl,
No.
the famous author of books such as
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the BFG, James and Giant Peach, and
Witches.
yeah, that I guess, and
I'm-
Boy, and a whole bunch of other cool books that.
Oh, boy?
Yeah, I'm reading that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I haven't read any of them.
Wow.
That.
That's what was funny because Cydney was talking about how she's currently reading Boy.
And I just finished reading the BFG, and I read Charlie and Chocolate Factory
But we're talking
in
about-
second grade. So I read a lot of
I've seen one of those movies, but I haven't read any of their
Roll with
books.
the transitions, kid.
Whoops.
Cydney was telling me about reading Boy, and I said put a pause in it because in my head I laughed in remembering how I read the book Boy.
It's an
I was in
autobiography.
I was in 5th grade, and I read the whole book in one day. You know why?
Why?
Because you like
Because
it.
because I was suspended from school and I had to read the book in a day
Oh.
and write something about it.
That's kind of messed up.
And I was at my grandmother's house all day. I think my father was there, and I had to. No, he might have. I don't know where he was, but I had to spend the day at my grandmother's house, and I had to read the book in a day. And that was the one time I was suspended from school.
Wait, why?
What was that? 4th grade.
Just daddy being daddy.
The reason I was suspended was because a certain kid in my class did something to me and made a gesture, and
You wanted to get revenge, and you got revenge in
and
the middle of
I made the gesture back. But when I made the gesture back, the whole class went, ooh, and we were coming in from recess. So then the teacher's like, oh, what happened? And then everybody's like, Chad did, and it was, but because I'd been to the principal's office a couple times already that year, they were like, suspension. I think I one time set the record for a number of times going to the principal's office in a day at school.
Really?
Yes. I went like 7 times in one day.
Wait, what?
Dang. 7.
I got sent to the principal's office once 7 times in a day. It was something happened. Principal's office. Okay.
That's messed up. And you just rolled with it?
What else could I do?
You're like, okay, I'm just gonna go now. Adios. Whee!
But yes, it was funny that when you brought up boy, that was something. Because I remembered, I read that book, and then I thought, I remember how I read it.
There was cat hair in my eye attached to an eye booger.
Thank you for sharing, Cydney.
Oh my god, there's mad cat hair in my leg.
Do we have any questions?
No, we do not have any questions.
No questions.
So do you guys want to pitch questions now, or?
If you don't send questions, I'm going to throw a book about giants at you, and then all the giants are going to come out and scream at you to send questions.
I'm going to throw a Molotov at your house.
A what?
Let's not go with violent threats such as that. Okay, Fortnite.
I don't.
Look, when I took Cydney to, these kids nowadays, because of games like Fortnite, like, we went to the movie theaters the other day, and these parents were taking in kids, maybe a couple, maybe like 2 years younger than you, and there's like a quote-unquote birthday party for the kids, where the mothers wanted to go see like Hustlers or something, and the kids were like, can we see Rambo? And like, yeah, with their 8Ks and stuff. I was like, yo, what is going on?
Exactly. I was hiding in my sweatshirt. I was like, okay, this is awkward. I'm just gonna put my hood on, zip up my jacket, and
it had nothing to do with you.
Here. But it's so weird just listening to people just scream like, yeah, let's go watch this movie full of violence. Because we're crazy boys.
But guess what? That's how I as an adult feel when any of y'all say stuff. That's just kids, and that's people in life. You sit and listen to people talk, period. 9 out of 10 things you hear people say is going to sound real stupid.
Especially boys.
And boys would say the same thing about girls. And that's where some of the clashing just ultimately happens.
But we can all agree girls are better.
Yep.
Boom.
Smart man.
I know he's trying to say no, but he's just trying to play nice.
No.
I know my brother.
You don't fight that battle.
Exactly. I've taught you well, young man. Learn to pick and choose your battles. But anyway, yeah. Like, that's just part of growing up. But I have this weird theory, and I guess maybe while I'm thinking about it in the sense of growing up, or like I was saying, that if you listen to other people's conversations, just even passing by, it all sounds ridiculous. It's like going into somebody's phone.
Which is like dumb.
No,
Dumb.
Because I don't like going into people's phones, or I don't really want to see anything on people's phones, because these days you'll see too much. So like, as much time as y'all spend on phones and stuff like that, a glimpse into your phone, I'm gonna see the weird stuff you're into.
I'm not into weird
But
stuff.
to you may not think it's weird, but to me it is, because you'll be into stuff and I'm like, oh, like,
No, Cydney, you're into weird stuff.
You're into weird stuff too.
I'm into
No, I'm
love
not.
stories
Yes, because
and Disney stuff.
Everybody thinks their stuff isn't
Kid friendly.
Everybody thinks their stuff isn't weird.
No one could name one weird thing I'm into.
Well, that's because ain't nobody
weird?
trying to.
I'm not weird.
But no, it is.
Is music in Lion King weird?
You may
Yes.
not think so, but you
Playing
may be.
it every day, multiple times, screaming it at the top of your lungs, and blasting it on the TV that no one else wants to hear all day is weird.
But to you, but that's her being a kid. But the same way I could say stuff that I see you on YouTube about all day, I'd be like, oh, he's pretty weird. But you could look at stuff that I view on YouTube all day and then be like, yo, that's pretty weird. But that's just, you see a lot of, if you look through somebody's phone and stuff, you'll see a lot about a person's personality, because everything that you're inputting into it is coming from your personality. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like now there's all this whole collection of data of just all the stuff that you're into, and without knowing how you see the world, it can come off weird and a little judgy. Any thoughts on that?
No.
I agree.
I mean, I agree too.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
You guys are really not helping the cause. It was like, hey, let's make this into a conversation. And
I really didn't know where to go with it because I was like,
you could have went with, let me see how I think. What do I think about
We were
this?
just talking
I
about
really
stuff.
thought exactly what you just said.
Oh,
So that's why I was like, yeah, I agree.
I'm good.
I just love animals and all that stuff. That's why I'm like into like Lion King and all that animal-y stuff.
Well, you're a
Same.
kid. You're at that age.
Exactly, and that's why I'm wearing a picture of a jaguar or a whatever kind of animal this is. Who is that?
As Jaguar because Spelman College. This might need to be the end of the episode, or maybe we'll see because someone is ringing the doorbell. So,
Deuces.
you know what? How about this? I will give y'all an opportunity to run the show while I go handle that.
Oh, yeah.
This should get interesting.
Yes! And Dad, we are not cutting this out of the video.
We'll see.
All right.
So,
So I'm going to be
welcome
Uncle
back
Chad.
to the Cydney and Brother Show.
So I'm going to be Uncle Chad.
That doesn't sound like him at all.
AKA Dad. All right.
He's
So,
screaming
Cydney.
at the dog's phone.
Are you going to pitch any questions?
Courtney, it's for you. You're free to go.
Oh. Well, then I'm going to have to stop being Uncle Chad, AKA Chad the Dad. We'll see you guys.
Sound like a vampire. You're like, I am Chad, also known as Chad the Dad.
So we'll just wrap this up.
Yeah. So he's gone. Wait, what time is it?
One something.
Oh, cool. That means I'm leaving soon.
Sure. So, real quick, let's have a moment. You and I, since it's just you and I on the camera here. Oop, is that for you, a text? No. You and I, kiddo.
Hasn't been a podcast, just me and you in a while.
Well,
Maybe since my 8th birthday? No, my 7th.
that was around 8th.
7th or 8th.
February. Because we only did one without him. But,
True.
let's, I wanted to briefly, somewhat, without talking in detail about some things, because I thought we were having a really good conversation the other day.
About what? Oh.
Insecurities.
Oh. Yeah.
And I think it's, without going into detail in some of the conversation, we just talked about what comes along
With insecurities?
and growing up.
Yeah.
So let's even just start there with some of what did you take from what I was telling you about insecurities?
So, he said that, it was, he had and has a whole bunch of insecurities just like how I do. And everybody has some insecurities sometimes, so it's good to talk about it, so then you'd feel at least a little better about it.
Wow, that was pretty good. Yes, I found it interesting that when I was telling you about it, you looked at me and said, "Oh, you have insecurities?" I was like, "Oh, I guess you don't see me that way." But
Yeah, 'cause you just act perfect.
not at all.
Just
I mean, I have, and I'm older, I probably have way more insecurities than you. And the older you get, but some of it is just how you see me. Because even just like as a little kid, you're looking up to me. But as you get older and more experience in life, little things and faces that I make, you're going to learn to see them more. And you're going to be like, oh, like now I see And what will happen is, the older you get, if you think we have a good relationship now, it's going to get better. Because, like, I see how imperfect my parents are, but I love and respect them a lot more because of all of those imperfect things that they may not necessarily even like, you know. But even as far as your insecurities, why I want you to be able to talk about stuff is because we are all our harshest critics. And if the inner voice that talks to us were a person, we would not be that person's friend because we think they're very mean. Know what I'm saying? It's like, I know you seem to be like pretty critical about yourself in your head. Like, you're not critical of yourself in your head. Like, even when you joke around sometimes, like, oh, I'm so stupid. Like, oh, you know, like little things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And here comes Kelly. Hi.
But I just wanted to take a moment and say to you, even with that, like, I'm proud of you. And, like, I know it's not always easy. And I know especially, like, I'm a dad. So as you're getting older, there's just things about you I'm not gonna get. But I will try to pull from my experiences to be able to help. Especially as you're becoming more and more of a young lady and you have assistance from our family, my sister, my mother, my aunt. Hold on.
This conversation's actually starting to get good.
I know.
Right, Curtis? He's just chilling, staring at us.
Had to go back because of the camera ran out. But you know, all of this, like, you have a lot of resources in our family, from the women in our family, and even just extended family from all the people out there who've just kind of followed along and watched you grow up over the years. But, you know, one of the most important things you can always do is talk to me about anything. And yes, if you want to know for the record, yeah, I'm going to cringe at certain points in your life as you get older.
Trust me.
Oh no, trust me.
I cringe way more watching you do things.
Like what?
Let's see.
Trust me.
How many ways can I count?
Trust me when I tell you, and I'm going to look in the camera and say it, the ways that would make you cringe, you have no idea at this point in life.
And here comes Casey.
Well, is there anything else?
Not really.
Well,
Everybody just wants our attention today.
I think this is a good place to end at.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for listening, and
Please send questions.
Word.
It's been like a million years.
And we will do this again next week. Alright?
And if you don't, then Casey's gonna lick attack you. Because
Oh.
Casey loves licking people.
Take Casey, please.
No! Casey's
Excuse me.
ours.
Watch out.
Please don't step on a dog, Dad.
I wasn't. I was trying to move her so that...